Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Miraki with Saloni. I want to start today's video by thanking all of you for giving such a loving response to my vlog commercial. Within 2 days time we received about 600 views and 100 subscribers. So that was really reassuring and encouraging for all of us out here. So a big thank you to all of you. Now I'd like to start talking about today's video, which is going to be all about creating happier childhoods at home amid COVID-19. Though the process of unlocking has begun in India, but the government directive says that the children under the age of 10 should continue to be at home and practice social distancing. I was wondering the other day that as an adult, this entire process of social distancing and staying at home was so overwhelming and difficult at times. So for a child who's about just 5 to 6 years of age, this process must have been so difficult, wherein they were asked not to go to school, where they were asked not to step out of the house in the evening to meet their friends and for their outdoor play. Now they were confined to 4 walls and all the time. So this actually motivated me to create this video sharing 6 tips which personally I have tried and I have seen that helped my children in coping up with the stress that might get created due to this ongoing situation, and it also helped me in ensuring that their growth and development don't get hampered. So here I am sharing those 6 tips with you. Tip number 1
is to have a healthy and positive communication with your child. I'm sure you all will reckon with me that when COVID-19 was gaining momentum, we all were glued to our TV screens, to our mobiles and laptops to gain as much as information as we could. Why did we do that? One of the reasons is because we wanted to feel safer. As much as information we had, the more we felt in control of the situation. So our sources of information to process this situation are many. But think of a child. For a child, the only reliable source of information is their parents. Hence, it's essential to develop a positive and open communication around this to help them make sense of this. You can start by asking your child these vital questions and listen to what they have to say. What do you think is happening around us? How do you feel about it? You can close the discussion by laying the emphasis on washing hands frequently and wearing a mask, so that a child feels secured enough and in much control of the situation, so that he feels that this can be beaten up. You can also reassure them that you are always there to look after them. You remember when we were children and anytime we used to feel scared, we used to go run back to our parents. And as soon as they gave us a big hug and a smile on their face saying that don't worry, I'm here with you, all our fears used to melt away. So it's really important. If we are happy, they will be happy. If we are okay about sharing our feelings, they will be okay sharing theirs. Also, you can also invite your elders or grandparents or other caregivers in the house to be the happy news bearers and narrate their story around their childhood when they might have faced any sort of lockdowns or curfews, and how after days of being stuck at home, the lockdown lifted and things went back to normal. For a child, it's going to be so comforting to know that it's okay. It has happened before and my grandparents or my other relatives faced it, but still they are doing all well now and things came to a happy end. And so if it has happened in their lives now, it shall also get over soon. Just imagine that this information coming to them from a person which is really close to their heart. I'm sure the children would feel much more hopeful and comfortable in this scenario than actually showing them TV news. My second tip is to establish and maintain a daily routine for your children. Imagine it this way. On Sunday evening, you decide and plan out all the tasks that you would carry out on Monday, at home as well as in office. But when you get up on Monday, your boss calls you up and says, "Hey, I've planned a brand new schedule for you, and these are the meetings that you will be catering to." Won't that be stressful for you? Now that your plan is not going to work out and there is a completely new routine in front of you. Well, that's the kind of stress even your child feels when he doesn't know the kind of day he would be living. And hence, it's really important to sit down with your child and plan the schedule way in advance. For a week's time, you can take out a visual timetable wherein you can ask your child to start plugging in the activities that he or she would like to engage in, so that he owns up to it. He's responsible for carrying out all those activities, because at the end, he is the one who decided that he wants to put all those on the map. Having a regular schedule also brings a sense of self-control, predictability, calmness, and well-being for a child. A routine allows children to know what to expect from a given day. At the same time, as parents, you can also put a list of different types of activities that you want your children to engage in. This will help your children to get the right balance of activities throughout the day at home. Well, people, this brings me down to my third tip, which goes hand in hand my second tip. While curating a list of activities that you and your child wants to engage in, you can emphasize on having at least 60 minutes of physical activity every day, and also decide on a healthy amount of screen time. Needless to say, by doing this, you will be able to limit a number of health issues that your child may develop by being a couch potato. A few exciting physical games and activities that I'd like to recommend are: moving forward to our fourth point, I want to talk about your well-being as parents. It's really vital for us to understand that our moods and behaviors have a strong impact on how our children feel and act. If we are happy and all motivated to make the best out of the day, that energy gets absorbed by our children. While the other days, when we are a little gloomy and sad, our children do observe and take away the negative feelings from it. So as parents, it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. If we want to take care of them, we must take care of ourselves first. It's vital for us to eat right and maintain a healthy sleeping pattern. I also want to say that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to deliberately take some time out from work and caregiving responsibilities to rest, meditate, and exercise. All these things at the end of the day will help us in bringing down the stress and depression. I totally understand that we all are operating from home right now, and there are millions of things that we are managing, such as household chores, professional responsibilities, to say the least. So it's okay if as parents we are going to be mentally and emotionally strong. We will be able to cater to the emotions of our children calmly and in a much more soothing composure. So it's okay to be a little selfish and invest some time and energy on self-care. So just like your children, plan out your day and set the expectations right. I'm sure together we will be able to make it right. Arriving at point number 5, I want to share a childhood memory of my own, wherein I clearly remember my teacher asking me to write an essay on the topic technology, a boon or a bane. And as an obedient student, I used to pen down pointers proving technology to be a boon as well as a bane to us. So today, as caregivers, though we perceive screens as a foe to our children's health, but why don't we also look at the other side of the coin and work around its friendly nature? Today, there are so many apps and social platforms available, enabling us to set up a virtual playdate for our children, wherein they all can meet in the evening and play a game together. Similarly, even as adults, we can connect with our friends over a cup of healthy smoothie. So do think about it and take it forward. Now let's dive into my tip number 6, which happens to be my personal favorite as it has helped me in cherishing all the good things in my life much more effectively. It is all about jotting down the experiences, the people, and the things in my life which I'm extremely grateful. There are positive psychology researchers which confirm that the practice of sitting together with your children at the end of the day and identifying one good thing that happened during the day make your children feel more loved, secure, and give them strength to deal with adversities much more powerfully. So what are you waiting for? You can choose any of these ideas and start curating your pool of grateful moments.